he's definitely probably like one of the top commissioners just out in all of sports. You know
I
what I mean? As
agree,
far as
man.
just kind of pushing the game forward, making it a little bit more global with having like some of these games out in Mexico and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to him.
Yeah.
He's
Shout out
very
to him.
progressive.
Right. Looks freaky as hell, but shout out to him.
he
It's like a lizard or something,
kind
bro. I don't know what the fuck.
he
Like,
looks like what was the teacher's what was that teacher from South Park? What was the teacher that had the
Mr.
glasses?
Oh, Mr. Mackey. Is that what you're talking about? The skinny
Yeah,
guy? Yeah, he kind of does. Oh, God, dude. Every time I see Silver talk, I'm like, Paradigm shift this year, man. This is the best part of the year for me. Like when so many different teams and shit, just everything just looks so different. It's so exciting to just be like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think just the landscape of the NBA, it looks like the East is definitely going to be a lot tougher than what it, just the level of competition and everything than it was last year, which is exciting. You know what I mean?
Definitely is, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but then you got some teams that made moves, and you're like, does that make sense?
No,
right?
exactly.
Like, does that make them better? So I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit more, but there's some moves where I'm like, I don't know what that was supposed to do. And then the whole situation with Ben Simmons, like, Jesus.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, we'll get into all that, bro. That'd be cool. We can start with we should do our division breakdown, and then, we'll go into the NBA and kind of break down all the different free agents, and then we can kind of just talk about where we expect teams to be as far as like power rankings for the coming year, if you're cool with that. So
let's get into it.
All right, bro. NFC West. This is our 7th installment, and we got one more after this, the NFC South next week, and then, man, we're like less than a month from football. It's crazy.
Right. We already had some football over the weekend with the Steelers and the Cowboys.
Yeah, Hall of Fame game.
Yep. And
do you get into preseason? I don't really watch preseason, but
I watch a little bit of it just to kind of see, some of the new pieces and everything. Like Najee Harris, like you can see that he's going to be a weapon for them.
Yeah.
For the Steelers. So that'll be, I like that. But yeah, I mean, it's always just kind of fun, just kind of seeing some of those, see some of the rookies or see some of the weapons that they've added and them getting that time. So yeah.
For sure. All right. Well, I mean, I guess there can be an argument made that this is the most loaded division in all.
I was literally about to say that.
Right.
Literally about to say this division is just on paper. It looks really, really tough. But I think like for me, there's two teams that really kind of stand out the most, and I think it's really the Rams and the Seahawks are kind of like that class of that division. With you kind of, I guess you giving a nod to the Rams, at least I would, just based on the fact that just defensively, they're top 5, I would say, as far as defensive, from a defensive standpoint. And then you add in somebody that can just throw the ball everywhere on the field with Stafford. So, I mean, this division is going to be really, really tough.
It is, man. And then you got to think like last year, kind of like you said, obviously last year the Rams and Seahawks were the top of it. Cardinals still played great. And then I think we all can agree the only reason the 49ers were as bad as they were is because they were just at like easily the most riddled team with injuries in all of football last year. So, like they
injuries, COVID.
Yeah. So it's going to be, I expect a big bounce back here from them. So it's going to be just a competitive ass of it. Like I look at all 4 of those teams and I'm like, you could see all of them just splitting games with each other. Like you have, you know what I mean? Like none of those are easy wins. So it's going to be a really competitive year. Which team you want to start with?
I mean, let's start with the biggest one with the Rams, right? I mean, you get that huge addition with Stafford, which I think kind of like outside of what was going on with Aaron Rodgers was kind of like that big move that was made during the NFL free agency. Then they added to the weaponry that he'll have with adding in Deshaun Jackson, even though, Deshaun is, on the tail end of his career, he struggles with being healthy, but just that threat of the long ball when him and Stafford and that connection is you have to respect it.
Definitely.
Right. Especially if you get something in a play action we know how dangerous it is with that Stafford is in the play action. So that combination, and then they just made good moves as far as bringing people back, like Andrew Whitworth, as far as the left tackle, bringing back Leonard Floyd.
Yeah, Leonard Floyd is huge for them.
Right, that's, you know what I mean? So just really key pieces that they had to make sure that they brought back to still make sure that they're pretty solid. I mean, they had some huge losses, though. Like, I think losing Blythe was a big one, their center. Troy Hill, John Johnson. Like, losing those pieces are going to be big pieces for them to lose. But I think they did enough to try to maintain that core and just filling in certain gaps. So,
yeah, I agree with you, man. You just kind of look at them top to bottom. And, like, the Deshaun point is a good one, too, because – they have Cooper Kupp. They've got, what's the other dude's name? Robert Woods.
Robert Woods,
They drafted Tutu Atwell. So even if Deshaun is like that third, fourth option just lining up in the slot, like he's going to be that thing that like people are going to have to – that's just rare, I feel like, for a team before to have to be like, okay, we kind of got a scheme for all 3-4 of their receivers because if he's left, alone, exactly, he's just going to burn them for one of those like 70-yard bombs. So it's just like, even though – I don't expect him to get volume. Like, he's not like going to be like a good fantasy receiver or anything. He's definitely going to have a couple plays a game where it's like he's going to break free and, be able to really sting you. So top 5 offensive line, probably top 5 defense. Like you said, like it's just
I mean, you with Floyd and with
Aaron Donald
and Aaron, right. Just them two alone.
Yeah, man.
Makes that line just scary. And then you got Jalen, like that defense is serious, man.
It really is
serious.
It is. It was like it was a haul, but it was just such a good move for Stafford because it just seems like that's exactly what they needed to really take it to that next level. And I kind of wrote it down before because I expect them at least 12 wins and I expect them to be a Super Bowl contender, just like one of those 5, assuming Stafford plays, because it's always just been the potential for Stafford. Like he had such, great arm talent. And it was always just like, well, what would he do if he wasn't with one of the most dysfunctional organizations in all sports, So it's like, like now he's not. He's in Hollywood with this up and emerging team that made it to the Super Bowl a couple years ago. They clearly got a good defensive core, good line, good everything. So it's like, as long as he balls, there's no reason for them not to be like one of those top 5 teams in the NFL this year, in my opinion.
I mean, spot on. I literally had the same thing. I said I put 12 wins as well. Like they have to easily finish top 3 in the NFC from a record standpoint. I think was going to happen. And like you said, they're a Super Bowl contender. Like if they don't, I would say I would be surprised if they didn't at least make it to the NFC Championship. I would be surprised by that, to be honest. Like it's just too much there for them not to.
Oh man. That'd be such a good championship game, just them against the Bucs or them against Green Bay or them against whoever it is, because that's all it's been the last year or two. Like after the Super Bowl, Goff kind of fell off a little bit, and it just seemed like so much talent on the team, but it was like, how far can he take them, And he was a great game manager for him.
That's what I was just about to say. That's what I was just about to say. Like Stafford is a game changer, right? Defenses have to game plan for his arm. Right, because he can throw it from every angle and almost every spot on the field. He can throw it at, so you have to respect that. I don't think defenses had to do that with Jared Goff. Right. Now, only thing is Stafford can at times kind of get into a thing where he's not really reading defense. He's kind of targeted in on his receivers, and that gets him into trouble. But it also he doesn't have. At least right now, maybe he hasn't established it like a go-to receiver right now. Right, like that guy where he hones in on. That defenses know, like he's gonna try to force it into this person. So maybe that'll be a benefit to him.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Kenny Galladay, as of recent, before that being Kelvin, like he's always kind of had one of those big-bodied receivers that's going to go up and moss a bunch of people. Like now he's got a bunch of they're taller, but they're mainly route-running receivers and Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods and stuff like that. So maybe that'll get him to mix it up a little bit. You're just sitting here talking about it, bro. What you just said, I'm almost like, he's probably up there as a betting favorite, honestly, for me, for MVP, as long as he plays well. Like, it's like this is his opportunity to seriously, like, if they win 13 plus games, like, and he's balling, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, you're not lying. You're not lying.
I didn't think about that till just now, but that's, he's definitely today. This is like his year to really like he's got to be motivated, man. Like, to show everyone, like,
It's not me. Yeah. It was them. It's literally like it's not me. It's them.
Exactly,
right?
Bro. Like, because everything you were just saying too, I'm sitting there thinking about it, and you're so right. But it's like he's gonna have so much leeway now with this O-line and these weapons to even be kind of lazy with how he reads shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that came out wrong, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just like he doesn't have broken holes everywhere where it's like he's got to make something out of nothing. Like, he's gonna have so much more time to just, sit in the pocket and figure it out. So they're one of my most intrigued teams for the year. Like, I'm so excited to see what happens there.
Do.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Who next? You want to do the Seahawks?
Yeah, we can go to Seahawks.
They're interesting because there was really not much in the draft for them. I don't even think they drafted in the first round. Let me check real quick.
I don't think they did either.
No, their first draft was like pick 56. They took a receiver. So there's no really game changers in the draft. I don't know. Like, do they have any big free agency signings? I haven't really been keeping up with.
I mean, so they picked up Carlos Dunlap, which is a huge thing just from a defensive standpoint, because that's where their biggest improvement needs to be, which is crazy because you don't really, since the Legion of Boom and everything, like you kind of see the Seahawks as like this stalwart of just defensive guys, but it's completely shifted to where they invested that money into Russell Wilson and they're more offensively minded. But picking up Dunlap was huge. They picked up Alden Smith, Gerald Everett. So they really picked up some nice pieces there. And then just re-signing Tyler Lockett was huge as well, I think.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those things, like you just said, like you almost just, your mind just takes you that they're going to have a good D. But yeah, the last 2 seasons has not really been, that hasn't been the case. I don't know if Bobby Wagner's back. I don't know if I'm not sure. He's getting a little older though. I think he's the last one out of all the Legion of Boom, isn't he? It's crazy.
Yeah, it is super crazy to think that those guys have all kind of just left, and it's just like, geez,
what a fucking squad, bro! Like Cam Chancellor, Sherman,
that team, that team was just
Earl Thomas. Like, oh my god,
they had dogs.
That was crazy.
They had dogs.
And they really could have won 2 in a row, bro. If it was
Bobby Wagner's still there.
Yeah, that was good. I don't know, man. It's going to be really interesting because Russ. So it's basically the offense is the same, right? I mean, I'm trying to think like they didn't really.
The offense is the same. I mean, I think they really got to. So there's a couple of things I think with the offense is big, and the biggest I think question with the offense comes down to your O-line. Right. And so where Russ is not having to sit there and run for his life,
bro,
on these given plays. So like they have to make these, and so I think that you're picking up Gabe Jackson, who's a guard, like that was a big added addition there. I think they just right. Like you invest this money in the Russ, but then you're not giving him the protection that he needs, so that way he's not having to, almost pull what Patrick Mahomes did in the Super Bowl, where he's running and trying to create plays every single down.
You just took it right out of my mouth. I was like, you remember the Super Bowl? Like that's literally what it looked like every week for us. Just kind of broken plays, running all over the backfield, trying to figure it out. Like,
what hurts him is because at the beginning of the season he can do it, right? Because teams haven't got adjusted to it, but then it starts to wear on them, and then this whole thing, let Russ cook. Well, he can't cook for a whole season because he's steadily running and getting beat down.
Yeah.
So his play starts to dip off at the end of the season. So you just want them to make sure that they just have a good line, and then they just have to improve on defense.
Yeah, right. Who's that running back they have? He's a little younger. I don't know. Is he still there this year? Oh, shit.
You're not talking about Carson.
Yeah, Chris Carson. Is he like? What's the deal with Chris Carson? Is he still? Did he get hurt?
I mean, he's still. No, I don't think so. He's still there.
I wonder if he's considered the starter.
They picked up. Let's see if they picked up. I mean, they picked up somebody out of Louisiana Monroe. They just got a bunch of
They also took a receiver out of Western Michigan. That's interesting. Dwayne Eskridge out of Western.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see the next year for DK. He just had a really good year, he did. A top receiver year. So
I don't see why he wouldn't come back and be able to, put up those, do those. He's just a monster, right? Like you really don't have too many answers for him. And then those matchups with him and Jalen are just insane.
Twice a year, man. That's awesome.
It's just must-see TV, bro. So, and I like those games with the Rams and the Seahawks are going to be some fire ass games.
They are, man. Yeah, didn't they play in the playoffs this year in that wild card game? And I'm trying to think who won. Was it the Seahawks that beat the Rams? They played each other like wild card, I'm pretty sure. But
did they?
Maybe the Rams won. I don't remember who advanced, but
yeah, because the Rams had who was the
Green Bay.
who was the
Did
quarterback?
The Rams play Green Bay after that in the next round?
I think, but like who when they played them? Who was the quarterback for the Rams? It was like some random ass.
You're right. Did they win though? Because I feel like Green Bay
they won.
beat the Rams. The next
but
round.
I don't remember who the fucking quarterback was.
I know.
That's why it's like some random ass quarterback.
Yeah.
Like,
because Goff hurt his finger or something like that. Forgot about that. Yeah. So, I mean, those games are always great. And that was a great game, even though they didn't have Goff. And it was just, I remember it was really like defensively played. And there was a lot of turnovers and shit like that, bro. Like it's
Donald just was dominating that whole game, man.
Man, like, do you think
O-line.
Is there already an argument that he's like one of the best offensive linemen that's ever lived? Like, even though he hasn't won a Super Bowl, and like I look at Aaron Donald, and I'm like, dude, I don't know if there's ever been a more skilled physical specimen than this dude at tackle.
Like, Donald is probably the most like I feel like you had to put Donald on that same level as like LT.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude.
Where like he just rips through defense and he's doing it on the interior. Right.
Yeah.
So like that just makes it even crazier that he's doing this production. He's getting double teamed and getting chipped almost every single play and he still wreaks havoc.
Right.
It's insane.
What defensive tackle is getting 13 sacks in a year? Like that is fucking
insane.
Absurd.
Like, come on, are you serious? He over there like hulking dude, bro. Like he just
yeah,
like,
man. And when you see pictures of him in the gym, like with the shirt off, it's like he's so massive, but he's just has no body fat. He's just ripped up. It's like, yo,
what the hell and like you sit here and you think about what was was it Wilkerson?
Oh, the really big guy, Vince Wilfork. Is that who you're talking about?
Yes, the Wilfork. Yeah, like he just a big old country, big belly, everything, right? That's what you used to see, but then you go and look at fucking like Donald, and it's just completely shifted, bro. And he's so fast, bro. His feet are insane.
And just it's fucking crazy. Everything about him, his swim moves, his ability to just break through. Yeah, I don't know, man. That dude I already have him up there as like one. It seems like every year he's been in the league, he's just easily been like the best defensive lineman in the league. It's crazy.
I mean, you could easily say he's probably the best player in the NFL, right?
He's usually ranked number one when they do the players thing every year, you know.
Like just him alone, he just, you know what I mean? Like I understand that like it's a quarterback driven league, but Aaron Donald has the attention of your whole entire offense.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, bro. And they've got arguably one of the best corner in the league. Arguably, you know, it's they just got some playmakers on that side of the ball, man. They're so fun to watch.
So you got the O-line, then you got a corner that's gonna shut down one whole side of the field.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's insane. So
yeah, Russ has that to worry about, bro. Because that whole division does, the whole league does. But shit, I can't. That would suck playing him twice a year, bro. Like, holy shit. It's
insane.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's go over to Arizona, where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Let's see, that's going to be another interesting one, bro. It's another year development for Kyler. See if he can improve some more. My jury's not out on Kyler. I really like him. Like he seems like really talented, but I just get so skeptical of the little running backs or the little quarterbacks that run so much. Like it just usually seems like over time people can start to scheme for him. So if this is going to be a telling year to see with more film on him, if he can continue to play the way that he played the last season.
Well, and then they just have to, I feel like they have to adjust their offense. You can't completely just have this thing where he's throwing 50 balls a game, bro.
That's too much.
You just air raid offense. Like, no, like you're literally wearing him down.
Yeah. Got to run it more.
You know what I mean? You got to figure out a way to mix it up and stuff like that. Because they have, you got Hop. They just added AJ Green.
Yeah, that's interesting, man, because he's older and he's been injured, but he was one of the top 10 receivers in the league for a while. So it's like now that he's not,
I feel,
he
could easily be like a number 2 or a number 3.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because he's still a big receiver that can go and get a ball, right? Like he hasn't lost that skill. He may not have the same speed that he has, but do we really need it? To be big, you don't need it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So.
They picked up James Conner, so that'll be interesting. I don't know.
They picked up him. They picked up Watt. They picked up Malcolm Butler. And a low-key thing that they did that Lions fans are very familiar with is Prater.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I know he's a kicker, but like that's a weapon, right? That's somebody that can get you. He can kick a 50-yard field goal.
Oh, easy.
He can get out to 60 if you know, and you know, in those pressure situations. That's a weapon, especially in close games where you need points and stuff like that. Like that's a weapon that they can have.
I totally agree. As long as he stays out of the booze and, you know, plays every game. He's a partier, bro. That dude's always out.
Put these down, bro. Don't do
exactly. But man, he's got a leg for sure. They're going to be interesting. I don't know how James Conner's going to do like that. I don't know how much that'll change life because 2 seasons ago he played great. Last season he kind of really regressed. Can he get new life here? And they're going to have to run the ball more. Like you said, 50 throws a game is just – you don't see the best quarterbacks in the league throwing the ball that much, man. Like that's just so much. And you've got really talented receivers, but you got to be able to mix it up on offense. I don't know how – like it seems like J.J. Watt is going to be a good improvement for that D, whether it's just as a leadership standpoint. I don't know how much stats he's going to be able to put up anymore. He's pretty injury-prone himself. So, but I think he's definitely going to keep them as like a congealed unit and make sure that they're not – doing stupid shit, you know, drawing stupid flags, things like that.
Right. So I mean, you got a solid person there that can lead that. They, like I said, they picked up Malcolm Butler, who's a solid corner. But I mean, they had like them losing Kenyon Drake, I think, was pretty big. Like Drake is nice.
He is.
He's really, really nice. And then they lost Mason Cole as a center. It's like that old, you know. So they had some losses a little bit from on the O line. And then losing kind of like, you know, your mainstays with Patrick Patterson, I think can have an effect. I mean, I think that's probably the reason why they brought in Malcolm Butler.
Mm-hmm. They got Budda Baker still too, who I think he's one of the best safeties in the league. So
easily,
man.
So I mean, I put them down for 10 wins. Oh, and then for the Seahawks, I put 10 wins as well. Because I'm just nervous about the Seahawks' defense. And it's almost kind of in the same sense with the Cardinals. Like, I don't know how well to grade that defense.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Watt is old.
You got Chandler Jones, right?
Chandler Jones is old. Malcolm Butler is solid, but he's not elite. So it's like they got some pieces, but is it enough?
Yeah, exactly. Who knows, man? That's just so exciting about this division, man. There's just a lot of new parts and a lot of them. I mean, not a lot because the Rams and the 49ers both have really good defense, but the other two teams, it's just like kind of up in the air what's going to happen there. So, for the Seahawks, I'm going to stay around the same 9 or 10 wins. It can fluctuate by like 3 games either way, just depending on how good their O-line and their defense plays. But
that's a wide scope.
I'm saying 9-10.
Just say you don't know.
You're right, exactly. But if I had to put money on it, it'd be 9 or 10. Like I think, but you know, but those other factors, obviously, that goes without saying. It could really affect their overall performance this season. And then the Cardinals, I'm gonna go a little high. I'm gonna say like 11.
Okay.
I'm going for the Cardinals 11. I'm really excited to see Kyler. Like this is going to be just another year of improvement, another year in the league. Reading defense is getting better.
They got, like, people may sleep on this, but they probably have one of the better receiving cores, right? Like having Hop, adding AJ Green.
Who's that third guy? Is it Gage? Is that no? That's not. He's for the Falcons.
No, they got Christian Kirk.
That guy. He gets like these 60-yard bombs just randomly.
You know what I mean? But then they picked up the guy, this kid out of Purdue, Rondale Moore, who is just like super fast. One of those like gadget guys or whatever, where he could probably make some noise. So just be wary or keep in mind that name, Rondale Moore.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go over to the San Francisco
the Niners.
Area. Yeah, man, that's such an intriguing, thing for me too. Garoppolo's still there, correct? Like I assume right now still considered the starter. I don't know what the plan is with him. I don't think you're getting anything more than a game manager out of him, though. I really don't think. He's young, maybe he could, but it just doesn't seem like he's a quarterback that changes life. So I don't know. My dog's over here fucking knocking into my shit.
I think it's really everybody's going to be just questioning, especially if they're not winning games. It's like, okay, how much longer are you going to let this happen before you put Trey Lance in starting the QB, right? Like that's everybody's question going is like, how long are you going to wait for Garoppolo to be here to where you just like put Lance in the game?
Right.
That's the question that's going to be around them all year. But I think with the Niners, it's about just getting everybody back healthy, right? You get Bosa back healthy. You get Kittle. You're getting them back as healthy. They picked up Sanu. They picked up Alex Mack. So they made some nice pieces, but then they just getting people back healthy. Like,
exactly.
Nick Bosa is a game changer, right? George Kittle's top 2 tight end in the league. You know what I mean? So those guys are game changers. But now it's just about like, okay, is the quarterback going? The defense is going to be there.
It is.
Now it's just about like, okay,
re-sign Trent Williams, who we both agree is one of the best tackles in football.
Easily.
You know, so
and it's like, okay, now is the offense going to be there for them to, you know, make the noise that they need to make?
They had a big emergence in what's that guy's name? I don't know if it's his first name might be Brandon. That might be wrong, but his last name's Ayuk. He's the receiver for them. He had a really good year last year, a breakout year.
Yeah.
And then they retained. They didn't retain, but he's also coming back from injury. Their D lineman Samson Ibekam, is that his name? Something like that. But they got a lot of people returning. I am a huge what's his fucking name? Trey Lance fan, bro. I think he's gonna be like what Josh Allen was, just like some dude kind of out of like some school that no one knew about, and kind of just, you know, he was drafted high because clearly he had skill, but like that no one's expecting. And he's gonna just light it up when he gets in there. That's my expectation for him. So it might not be right away, but like I'm expecting that dude to do big things.
Listen, and shout out to Josh Allen because he got paid.
Yep, he did.
He got paid.
Yeah,
250 something million and 100. The largest ever contract guarantee with 158. Come on, bro.
It's all that matters, bro. Those guarantees, man. It's, you know, football. I kind of get it. I used to be like, it's so stupid. They make the most money. Why don't NFL players have guaranteed contracts like the MLB and NBA? But I do understand it's such a more physical game that like you just, you know, you don't know what you're gonna get. So,
but to get 150 of that 250 guarantee.
Yeah, man. That's some paper.
I'm not mad at him, bro.
No.
But you know who the person that's next in line is Lamar.
Yeah,
and like he's already won an MVP.
Mm-hmm.
If he can, like, if Lamar finds a way to, like, he don't have to win it at like the Super Bowl, but if he gets the Ravens to the Super Bowl, he's going to be at that level that Patrick Mahomes is getting paid at, where he's gonna get that type of money, bro.
Exactly, man. Has there been a quarterback like that that's won a Super Bowl? I'm trying to think, like the Michael Vick type. Like, it would just be insane to see one of those quarterbacks actually push through and win it at the biggest level. You know what I mean? Like it's like they're usually.
I mean, I think that you think about, like, there's been players like McNabb, but McNabb had an arm.
Yeah.
And I think the closest probably to it was probably just Cam.
Yeah.
Cam Newton was probably like the closest that has gotten to that point to where someone that's can like really run like that. But like I said, I've said it earlier when we were talking about, I think the Ravens is like my dark horse to win the Super Bowl.
Yep.
For that, but shout out to Josh Allen, Brian. He
seriously,
dude, and his agent, whoever his agent is, he got paid.
Seriously, he really did, bro. So what are you giving the Niners this year?
I said 6.
6. Oh, really? Wow,
I'm not that confident in Garoppolo, bro.
Oh, that's I mean,
that's
a good point. Man, yeah, that's I'm gonna say 8, but that's that, and I totally get it because the division is so fucking hard.
That division is strong. That division is strong, bro.
Yeah, that's
like I don't think they're gonna. There's 2 teams. Like, I don't think they're beating the Rams or the Seahawks. Yeah. So I feel like that's already 4 losses right there.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. It's gonna be a very interesting year in that division, bro. It's gonna be and like you said, at what point is it like he might not even be playing that bad, but when do we just put Trey Lance in if like we're not winning games, you know?
And somebody was talking about this. It's like, you know, you have these players that are good game managers, right? Mm-hmm. But when do you bring in somebody that's just going to completely shift how defenses approach you, right? And we saw it twice. And we saw it twice with Alex Smith, if I'm not mistaken, right? You saw it with Alex Smith, and then they brought in Kaepernick. They brought in Kaepernick and led them to the Super Bowl, right? Alex Smith was in Kansas City, if I'm not mistaken. Was it Alex Smith?
Yep.
And then they brought in, Mahomes, you know what I mean? Yeah. They brought in Mahomes. So, like, I think, like, Garoppolo may be in that situation where he's managing a game. he's not losing them the game, but he's also not like completely changing the game in their favor. And I feel like they're like, look, we might as well just go with the young guy. At least we'll get something else out of it.
Exactly, bro. Yeah, like what is he contributing to the winning? And then there's some cases where you look at it and like those game managers are probably all you need, because I look at Tannehill like that. I'm like, Tannehill, they have so many weapons now on that offense. Like, I think he is going to be really good at kind of just spacing the ball out and kind of doing exactly what he needs to do. But you can always make the argument that, you want a quarterback in there that's going to just, that has supreme talent, So it's I don't know. It's going to be very interesting.
That's always the case, though, because you look at when Baltimore won and they had Flacco.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Flacco had some arm talent, but he was a game manager, right?
For sure, he was. But when they won it, you got to think too. He won the MVP of that Super Bowl. He played great, So
he did, but I think I mean, there's been Super Bowls when Brady didn't play well.
Most of them, yeah.
And he did, you know what I mean. And he just, you know what I mean. They won, so it's like it has to be a transition at some point, because I just don't think that Garoppolo is the answer. Yeah,
no, I totally agree. It's gonna be. I want to see Trey Lance come in and just try to see him change life. That's going to be crazy, bro. It's going to be absolutely nuts.
Yeah, it's going to be nice.
All right, bro. Let's get into these free agents over. Oh, no. Well, before we go to NBA, did you see Calvin Johnson's acceptance speech and hear him talk about the Lions and his interviews after and post?
I didn't hear the interviews after, no.
No, so
what did he say?
He just said before, obviously, he wasn't going to thank the Lions franchise specifically during a speech, he kind of did. He he thanked the fans and like the people of Detroit and stuff like that, but he never specifically was like the Lions organization, like whatever.
Right.
And then, he just came out on an interview afterwards and kind of just still confirmed. He's like, the blood between me and the Lions is still really bad. Like, I have no interest in them. Like, there's nothing for me. It's just insane to see that we've had two of the most supremely talented skill players in the history of football just retire early and be like, fuck that organization, bro. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. And the thing, I mean, for Calvin, it's like, why would he, bro? Y'all took that money back from him.
Yeah, that's so, yeah.
You know what I mean? After he literally gave y'all every fucking thing. He playing with fucking hurt ankles and knee issues and shit like that. And he's still going out there and killing.
Mm-hmm.
And for what?
How many millions of dollars did he probably bring in just in ticket sales and, popularity? If we didn't have Calvin during those years, like, we were still not winning any games. Like, we want, you know what I mean? So it's like, what would we have even been going to watch? No one would have even been spending money to watch the Lions at all if we didn't see, Stafford bombing it up to Calvin. Like, that was our only hope. It was just, I don't know, man. I agree with you. I don't think it's classless or anything. Because he's very calm and composed about it. He's not petty or like, it's just, he's just stating the facts. It is how it is. And I think Barry and the Lions have kind of smoothed it over a little bit. But Calvin's still just like, nah, I'm out on them.
I don't blame him one bit. I don't blame him one bit. And then also shout out to Edgerrin James.
Yeah.
He had one of the realest speeches ever, bro. That was cool. He really did. You know what I mean? Just sitting here talking about how, people came in, they kind of just judged him for, what he looked like with him having his gold teeth and his dreads and everything. He's like, I ain't never been in trouble a day in my life.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? And then now he just, being the guy that he's kind of revered as well. Like, shout out to him as well for his speech. It was dope.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I totally agree. All right, man, let's switch over because the NBA is going to just be a completely different league next year, man. Like, this is going to be crazy to just see who's coming out at the top of each, conference and all these new personnel changes, like especially people that like have been with organizations, for so long, like Kyle Lowry going to the Heat, stuff like that. It's just absolutely insane. That's going to be an interesting team right there, the Miami Heat.
Yeah, the Heat. I think it is an improvement, right? Like having Lowry, who's a starting point guard that can still produce and really kind of get the offense kind of going. Then they bring back Oladipo, who's been really, really injury prone. But if he can just be healthy, it's a good team. It's a really good team. But I think, I honestly think the Bulls had a better free agency than the Heat did. Like picking up Lonzo Ball and picking up DeMar DeRozan were really nice moves for them, right? Yeah. Like Lonzo is a starting point guard that's really good defensively, right? And he knows how to get players the ball where they need it, right? So that's going to open up things for Levine and for DeRozan to where they don't necessarily always have to create their own thing. And then I think everybody is kind of, looking at them as like, that's the big three: Lonzo Ball, Levine, and DeMar DeRozan. But that's not their big three. Their big three is Vucevic, Levine, and DeMar DeRozan. Yep. I think people are forgetting about the fact Vucevic was a 20 and 10 guy.
Yep, exactly.
Right,
bro.
Like dude is a low down low. He can ball.
Mm-hmm.
So and then you add in Patrick Williams. You add in Kobe White.
Is Lauri Markkanen still there?
No, Lauri Markkanen is a free agent. He doesn't want to go back to Chicago, so he's going to be out. And I heard kind of rumors he may go to the Golden State, which would be crazy.
That would be good. Yeah.
But they Chicago Bulls for me have probably one of the better free agency as far as up to right now, just with those, adding Lonzo and adding DeMar DeRozan were big pieces that they added.
I totally agree, man. Lonzo is one of those players where even though he's not exactly what kind of like the hype around him said he was going to be, he's a phenomenal on-ball defender and a phenomenal just pure passer. He still has a lot of work to do with his shot, and his aggression is kind of what bothers me. It seems like there's times he just plays too timid,
right?
But still, passing is 10 out of 10. He's a great passer and a great defender, which is all you really need in that situation when you have all those other guys that are scorers.
Exactly. Like he doesn't have to go and be LaMelo, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's where everybody was expecting him to be was LaMelo, but he's not that type of person. He's more like low key, which is fine because that fits for what Chicago has, right? Like you got guys that can go and score. You got Levine that can score. You got DeMar DeRozan that can score. You got Vucevic. Those guys can go and get their own bucket.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly.
I think it was a great pickup for them, man.
Yeah, I totally agree. They're gonna have a lot of because Levine's a good shooter. DeMar's a good mid-range shooter. He's not really a good 3-point shooter. They're gonna do a lot of inside and outside work. It's gonna be cool, and they're all athletic, man. DeMar's athletic, Levine's athletic.
Zoe's athletic.
They got the GOAT Caruso, bro. Yeah, they're one of the fucking.
If you don't stop playing,
those memes are so funny, bro. Like the new GOATs back in Chicago. I think that shit's so fucking funny.
Caruso,
homeboy can yam though. You ever see him just throw it on a dunk? Sometimes you're like, damn, what the fuck, bro?
Where did he come out of? Yeah. Like he caught KD one time off a tip dunk. Yeah. Like Caruso, but he's a great role player, though, right? Like he can come off the bench. He's gonna play hard and especially defensively. And he just brings that energy. Like that team is really gonna be Philly's gonna take a dip. I don't think Philly's gonna be like a top 3 team next year, and I think they may fall to like 5 or 6. Maybe, and then I feel like Chicago's definitely going to be up there next year.
Just reemerge. Okay. Well, speaking of Philly, what do you think there? Do you think Ben's going? Is that just done?
He's not. I sent you he is not even talking to anybody from the organization.
Mm-hmm.
He's pissed, right?
Yeah.
And, I guess he talked about him wanting to go to the Warriors, which would be fucking insane.
That would be crazy.
You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely crazy,
bro. Think about him running the point on the fast break. You got Clay and you got Steph on one end. You got Wiseman running to the rim or whatever. Like it's insane, bro. Like just the option that they have if he goes there.
I know we were kind of hypothetically playing with that with T and Ricari, but the more we talk about it, it's like they would have 3 phenomenal defenders if he went to Clay.
4 because they brought back Iguodala too.
That's true. Yeah, man, bro. And then Clay can guard anyone on the perimeter. Draymond and Ben can guard anyone 1 through 5. Just the switching they could do would really kind of mask Steph. Just keep Steph on the perimeter. Don't let him get caught in a pick and roll. And
you think about that. Just think about that depth lineup that they'd be able to put out.
Yeah,
you literally have Steph, Clay, Iguodala, Draymond, and Ben.
Bro, at that point, you just put Ben at the fucking center because it's
exactly.
What I mean, because he's not shooting, so it's
no.
Yeah,
God, but that would be so. They could literally go 5 out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And just think about the driving lanes, and their offense is predicated on just space and cuts.
Ball movement.
It would, bro. They would be so dangerous.
I think they're going to the finals, bro. I really do. Even though he isn't there yet, like I don't know what's going to happen with that. But even without him, I just think Clay coming back, assuming he's the same, no reason to think he won't be. His game wasn't really predicated on athleticism, anyways. So I mean, he's going to lock people up. He's going to hit threes. Steph showed last year. Really, that's the first time since Steph burst on the scene in like the early 2000s or the mid 2010s. This is the first time I've seen him back against the wall, really had to just be like, okay, like I'm going to show everyone with my injury depleted team, like who the fuck I am. Like, he gained a lot of respect for me this year. So Steph, Clay's Clay. Draymond, I know like T was fucking around talking about how like, the point, but the scoring doesn't matter for Draymond. Draymond to me is like their glue guy. He can guard anyone. He brings energy to the team, smarts. They're going to come back hard this year. I think they're going to make the finals. If not, they're at least going to be a really big competitor in the Western Conference. Like I think they're back. So
yeah, I mean that team is going to be nasty, and I think let's say they don't get Ben, but they still got Wiggins, and the dude still puts up about 19 to 20 points a game.
Yeah,
and he's a hell of a defender himself, right? So like, just putting in Clay in that piece, and then you look at like, did you see some of these summer league games? Like Kuminga is, bro, he bouncy.
Yep.
Like that dude is gonna be nice. Moses Moody, like he can, like those guys, like their bench is gonna be so much deeper because just of the amount of playing time that those guys got this past year and playing in clutch situations and stuff like that. Like Jordan Poole is gonna be nice next year. Juan Toscano Jr. Like those guys getting that experience of playing last year is gonna really help them. They are gonna be. I don't know if I have as much confidence of them going to the finals, but it is definitely gonna be like a top 3 team next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're totally right. Do you so Iggy's back, you said?
Yep, Iguodala's back.
Cool.
He re-signed.
If anything, obviously defense, energy, and just leadership and championship experience is going to bring, a positive to them bringing him back. So yeah, I think the sky's the limit for them. I'm trying to think who else we got. It looks like Kawhi's probably just going to re-sign with the Clippers. I think people kind of made a little noise about him, opting out.
Reggie re-signed.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I think Kawhi's out for the year though, right? So I mean,
he's out for the year.
I think that's what they're saying. At least that's what they're saying on talk radio. Just like they're not expecting to see him this year, so it's going to be very interesting. I think obviously if that's the case, that just eliminates the Clippers from this year pretty much completely. So
yeah, it is going to be tough.
We just get into the Lakers, bro? I mean, like
we can get to the Lakers. I was going to touch on the Nets real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. What you
got? Or no, not the Nets. The Knicks.
Oh yeah, okay. Bringing in Kemba.
Like I like the moves that they made, right? Like because those moves that they made, it makes them better, right? Their backcourt is now you got a like a solidified backcourt with Kemba and Evan Fournier, right? Those are two guys that can get you about 20 points a game, and they can get their own shot, especially Kemba. Kemba can get his own shot, and then I think it's just not having to put as much pressure on Randall and on Barrett to sit there and have to like try to make something happen because it's not really not their game. Like Julius kind of did it just because he was the go-to guy, but now that he's not really I don't think he's really going to have to really like be that person every single game. It'll kind of open things up a little bit for him. But I like the moves that they made.
I do too. I think they're going to be a really good, regular season team. They're still young, and I know we were texting back and forth about it. I don't think Kemba Walker's a bad player. I used to love him, but I just have seen recently in the last couple of years, it just seems like he has just fallen off the shooting map in the playoffs where he'll have these games where he's like 8 for 20. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck, man? Like, that's just not like what they need from you, man. So it's just, it's going to be interesting. This is going to be more his team ever, like since he's been in Charlotte, right? So it's going to be like crazy to kind of see.
I don't think it is. I think it's going to be Julius Randle's team.
Okay. That's fair. From a scoring aspect,
they'll still run their offense. I think they're going to run that offense through Julius. They'll probably do like a lot of high screen and roll with him and Julius. But now it's just like there's just more scoring there. Yeah. Like last year, it was like either Julius had to have a good game or Derrick Rose had to have a good game for them to be good. right? But now it's not going to be so codependent on whether it's Julius or Derrick Rose. Now you got Kimba. Kimba can get his own. And we saw in the Olympics, Evan Fournier over here going off for like 28 points against the U.S. team. You know what I mean? Like, so those, like, you have guys to where it's not going to be solely just two people that have to do all the scoring.
Yeah, man, you're so right. Now they're going to have D Rose and RJ coming off the bench, I assume, right? So that's going to be pretty big.
No, so I think what will happen is they'll have. So I think Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker will start. Barrett will probably go to the 3, Julius at the 4, and then Mitchell at the 5.
Wow. So they're going to put. Okay, I thought RJ was a 2, but that's going to be interesting.
I mean, but he's 6'6".
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not like he can't play. Play the 3. He's big enough.
Who's that tall ass lengthy dude they got? Their center.
Noel.
No,
Nerlens Noel. Or are you talking about Mitchell?
It must be Mitchell. He's really lengthy. Maybe he doesn't.
He's a really good shot blocker.
Yeah, he is, bro. He's he's one of those dudes that can get you like 2-3 blocks a game. Like that dude.
Like when he plays, he's usually like top 5 in blocks.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Yeah.
Mitchell Robinson is his name.
That's it.
Mitchell
Robinson. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Mitchell Robinson. But he's nice. He's really, really nice. And then, like, you just got players that, like, they brought back Alex Burke, right? Like, that's he was a scorer. He showed that in the playoffs. You got Emmanuel Quigley. So, like, they got pieces now that they can really develop, and their bench is going to be deeper.
For sure. It's they're going to be a good team. I think it's going to be interesting seeing these young teams in the East, kind of, other than these ones in the free agency market that kind of just made big splashes. But teams like New York that are still got a lot of young talent, teams like Atlanta who re-signed John Collins, they're going to be a squad again. It's going to be very interesting out East. Like you said, it's not going to be so much just a powerhouse out West as we're so accustomed to. It just seems like the East is really kind of shifting the balance so that there's a lot of, big teams out there too. So,
that's going to be nice.
It is. All right, man. So we got
the Lake Show.
Yeah. And so much more happened after Russ. Obviously, we got to just break that down. But, I mean, then they just went and signed exactly what they needed when I was saying, like with Ellington and fucking Ariza and all these dudes that are just 3-and-D guys. That is exactly what they need. All these dudes that are shooting like 35% plus from 3.
Monk.
Yes, man. They had another one, too. I'm trying to remember. They signed like 4 straight dudes that were exactly – what LeBron's like Toolhouse calls for. Yeah. Yep. Kent Bazemore. He's gonna be huge, bro. Really good defender. Yep.
And then we gotta start with just the dummy of free agency. The dude is dumb. Schroeder turned down. What was it? 84, 2 years, 84, or how much was it?
Yeah,
2 years, 64 million, or something like that. Dude turned down money, thinking that he was about to get more, and now nobody wants his ass.
Yeah. Absolutely insane, bro. Because 2 seasons ago, he had a really good year. It's just crazy.
And now, dude, about to not even get close to that.
No.
Not even about to get close to that. Probably not. They're not re-signing him. He's not going back to the Lakers. So it's like now, okay, what's the market for Dennis Schroeder?
I really just did not enjoy watching him last season. He just really was just like a momentum stopper, and he just wanted to do everything on his own. It seemed like he'd just take bad shots last year. But 2 seasons ago in OKC with him, Chris Paul, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, all 3 of them would just take turns balling out. Like it was just, shouldn't have bet on yourself, man. That was
not that much. When they were giving you money and you turned it down. That wasn't a smart move.
For sure. So what do you think when you just look at that lineup? Like, is Russ and LeBron gonna work? Like, how does that?
I don't know if I'm confident in the way that this team is structured. Because it reminds me of when Bron was in Cleveland. He brought in Derrick Rose and he brought in D Wade and he brought in like all these players. And then he's starting to find out, like, hey, yo, this is not working. We got to shift so that, Wade left, Derrick Rose didn't come back to the team. I think Isaiah Thomas was on the team. Like, it just didn't work. Yeah. And so it's giving me that same type of, like, feel. And I think at some point, some of these guys are probably going to be gone before the season. I just don't know if it works. Like, Russ and LeBron are 2 very ball-dominant people that they need a ball in their hand. Well, Bron maybe not as much, but Russ for sure needs the ball in his hands in order for him to be effective at what it is that he does. And I'm just not convinced that like there's still enough necessary shooting that's around LeBron. Like you have some shooting, but is it really like good shooting? Like Wayne Ellington, yes, like that's a shooter, but Kent Bazemore is not Willie solid. Like he's
not high volume, but he's
okay.
good percentage. Yeah.
You know, like it just doesn't do it for me.
What about Trevor Ariza?
Trevor Ariza, I think he's the one. Like I think everybody thinking that like Melo's gonna start. I don't think Melo needs to be starting.
Oh, I forgot about Melo.
Jeez,
yeah, you can't start Melo. Yeah,
like you can't. Melo needs to come off the bench like he was in Portland, and you start Trevor Ariza just because he's better defender.
Yep, I totally.
You know
agree.
what I mean? And then and you bring Melo off the bench. And I'm not a big fan of Malik Monk either. He's so inconsistent.
He is.
Like you'll have a game where Malik can probably go off for like 30 or 40, but then you'll have another game where he gonna put up a dud.
Yeah, exactly. All those shooters that they brought in, like the other than Wayne Ellington, he needs to play a big role. But yeah, like the Malik Monks and Arizas and all those guys, they just need to know their role and that they're gonna like play defense and then they're gonna hit open threes. Like that's because Malik Monk, you're not getting like 25 plus minutes and asking 15 shots out of you. Like that's not happening. So. The difference between them and like kind of that Cleveland team, because that is an interesting comparison, is he's injured all the time, but they do have Anthony Davis, who, when healthy is still considered.
Makes a big difference.
Yeah. So, I mean, Dwight, I like that. I was mad they got rid of him out of the championship team. If he does the same thing he did that championship year where he just knows his role and knows I'm here for rebounding and, interior defense, like that's going to be huge. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Definitely.
I don't know.
It makes me. I feel like it's literally for them. It's you have to get to the finals or it's a bust for that team. Like I'm not even saying it's a championship, but it's finals or bust for that team. And It's not necessarily like their age or anything. I don't not completely sure how that team is currently structured if it fits.
Yeah, I get you. It's gonna be must-see TV. Is what it's gonna be, bro. Like regardless of how good they are,
it definitely.
I am gonna watch.
You gonna tune in?
To see what the fuck goes on over there, because that is gonna be. I will say they're gonna be amazing in transition. They're so athletic.
Man, they're gonna be deadly.
Yeah,
deadly.
So in the full court, Russ plays a lot like LeBron in the sense that like LeBron and Miami was a phenomenal on-ball defender, but after that he went to like roaming LeBron, where he liked to play like strong safety, kind of just hover and like cheat in passing lanes and stuff. Russ is the same way to me, just like not as tall as LeBron, so that's going to be very interesting. They could cause a lot of turnovers.
They're going to be nice on defense.
Yeah, high energy.
That team is going to be nice. Russ is a pretty solid defender. Wayne Ellington, but you got Bron. You got AD, you got Trevor. Like they're going to be a solid, very solid defensive team. But I'm just thinking from an offensive standpoint, understanding that like Bron is really not looking to shoot as much as he was. His thing is getting to the rack. So and then Russ, we know is not a shooter. So that piece of it is really home. It's going to be really interesting to see what they do.
Bro, these storylines, if them and the Nets make the finals, is going to be absolutely holy shit, man.
Like, man, between KD and Russ and Kyrie and LeBron, dog, like,
absolutely insane, bro. And Harden and Russ.
Man, like it's going to be really, really crazy, bro.
It will,
it's
bro.
Going to be really crazy. I can't wait because, the Nets need to figure out a way to get bigger. Because I don't know what's gonna happen. I know they re-signed Blake Griffin, but they didn't. Jeff Green signed with the Nuggets, and then I don't know if they're probably gonna try to go after LA because he's talking about he may try to come back.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I know they picked up some big, but I like them picking up Patty Mills. I thought was a huge win for them, though. I
agree. That's gonna help. He's older, but he can still shoot.
He's older, but shit. I mean, he just dropped 42 on Slovenia.
Man.
You know what I mean? And okay, and we got to talk about this a little bit, not to interject until going into the Olympics.
No, we do.
So they were riding Luka Doncic so hard, talking about, he's undefeated in the Olympic play. Like he wasn't playing anybody, bro.
Yeah, that's fair too, bro. Those last two games,
you were playing Italy, like you weren't playing teams that had solid players and stuff like that. And then these last two games, you play these teams, and then what happened?
No, I totally agree with you, bro. And he played bad in both games.
Yeah, both games he did not play well at all.
No, it was bad, bro. He has a lot of improving to do still, man. I know a lot of people are already he's a top 5 player in the NBA. I'm almost there, but it's just his inconsistency and his defense, it's just shaky to me.
He don't play defense, dog. He don't play defense.
No, he does
He don't
not.
play defense at all. But I mean, I'll give him. So I think he's up there. I think just with his country team, it's just they don't have enough.
No,
right? Like it's
not.
literally him or Goran Dragic's little brother. Like that's it, right? So like they just don't have enough. But everybody's trying to make it seem like they were just about to go to this gold medal match and take on the U.S. and defeat them. Like the U.S. would have had destroyed.
Oh yeah,
that team.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
So,
and the U.S. really turning around, bro. Like they looked like shit in like the pre-games, like in like the before the Olympics started, and they just got it together.
You gotta I think we gotta also realize too, like these guys just coming off of the playoffs, they didn't have the whole team there. They still had guys that were still playing in the playoffs. And then like even in them first couple of like little friendlies or whatever that they were playing, like. They had only been in camp for maybe like 2 days.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So it's like, do they even have an offense in place? They just probably going out there free balling.
Pretty much. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like they was getting blown out, they were just losing games. Yeah. And even that first game when they lost to France, they had a lead and they just lost it in the the last couple of minutes. But Drew Holiday, Devin Booker, and Chris Middleton all got there like literally the day of.
Exactly. And Drew Holiday balled out that game. That was crazy.
He did. Like he had a great game. Yeah. So and then I guess they said they found out that like Lillard had like an abdomen issue, like a tear or something in his abdomen during the during the Olympics.
That sucks. Yeah. I don't know. They really turned it around though. They look good.
Did.
Shout out to USA. I mean, it's usually just not even a question to me. Like that's why it was so surprising. Is like I just think US is so much stronger than everyone in basketball that it's just like they usually just wipe the floor.
And they still like you think about it, they were still missing, like they didn't have Harden, they didn't have Kyrie, they didn't have Curry.
Yeah, exactly, bro. It's
you know what I mean, like you didn't have even some of your better players out there and they still won. In a lot of these games they won in convincing fashion.
They definitely did. They're just superior. It's that simple, bro. I know he didn't play this year, but I wonder if Giannis has played for Greece in the past. Like, because it'd be interesting to see.
Yes, he's played in like some of those like Euro basketball stuff like that, but they don't have it. Like the team just doesn't have enough there. It's literally just Giannis. So they know, like, bro, we wall up on Giannis, we good, because the rest of these guys we ain't got to worry about.
It'd be hilarious to see all three of the Antetokounmpo brothers playing for Greece at the same time. Because I don't know, I've never seen the other two play, bro. Like they come in with 5 seconds left in the half and play like a prevent, like inbound. Like I don't know what is that? Why do they put certain players in? Like, is it like their way of being like, here, you're getting some time in, bro. Like here's your 5 seconds.
Hey, like get on the court and enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. You got to give me your prediction though. What as of right now, free agents have fallen everywhere. What are you thinking for the finals next year? If you had to put money on it right now,
if I had to put money on it, well, I feel like the Nets for sure are going to end up going there out of the East. Just that trio is just too much. And then they brought back Blake. They got Patty Mills. They got Cam Thomas, who that dude is going to be nice. And from the draft. But if the Warriors get Ben Simmons, I'm going to book the Warriors and the Nets.
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to leave it. Yeah, that's going to be, if the Warriors find a way to get Ben Simmons, I'm booking right now the Warriors and the Nets.
Okay, sounds good. And if they don't, who you got out of the West?
If they don't, I think I may stay with my original pick that I had from when we had Kari and Tion with the Nuggets.
Okay, the Nuggets. That'd be very interesting. I'd like to see that. I think the Nets would destroy them.
That's just with Murray coming back. They picked up Jeff Green. They got back Will Barton, who's going to be healthy again this year. You getting another year out of Michael Porter Jr. You still got Aaron Gordon. Like, do not sleep on that team.
Yeah, they're going to be very good. One more thing, too. Have you heard that they're changing that rule? So, like, basically, if you James Harden into somebody, like, that's a foul on you now. Like, yeah. I wonder how much that'll affect his game.
I don't know if it's going to affect his game because, like, he doesn't get too many of those on a shooting standpoint. He gets most of his fouls when he's driving and he's bringing his arms up under somebody else's, and that's how he gets when he's driving. It's not really that the shooting stuff. So I don't think that's going to affect him too much. I think it more so affects guys like Luka, guys like Trae Young, like those type of players. I think that affects them a little. It'll affect them more. Or like Curry. Curry does it sometimes too.
It does.
So I think it'll affect them more than some like James Harden.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting, bro. You know what's funny on those type of shooters? The first person I saw do that, I'm sure he didn't invent it, was Dwayne Wade, bro. He used to do that shit all the time. I remember watching like that pump fake and then just kind of like rough himself into him and fucking throw up a jump shot.
Wade was solid at that.
He was, yeah. But I don't know. I agree with it and I'm happy about it. I think like you shouldn't – it was cool for a while, but like you should be trying – I don't think you should be trying to – throw your body into someone to, you know.
Yeah, the thing is that like the refs are like, because the initial thought was like, okay, well, this player is, you know, they're kind of launching themselves up or whatever. But also at the same time, you as an offensive player can't just launch yourself into somebody else and think that that's automatically a defensive foul. It doesn't work like that. That's not. That's complete. That's against the, you know, just the flow of the game. Like some of these guys are literally just vertical, and these guys are just flailing and throwing their arms up, and then it's a foul. Like that's not how that works, bro. So I'm glad that they're making that change.
I am too, bro. It'll be good. I like that they do that too, and I honestly credit to Adam Silver. Ever since he's been commissioner, it just seems like he's very league friendly and player friendly. Like he just wants to see the best possible basketball be played. He's totally not like a prideful, like everything's perfect, we don't need to change shit. Like he's always looking for ways to kind of improve the game, you know. So
yeah, he's definitely probably like one of the top commissioners just out in all of sports. You know,
I agree,
as far as just kind of pushing the game forward. Making it a little bit more global with having like some of these games out in Mexico and stuff like that. So shout out to me, he's very progressive.
Him. Right. Looks freaky as hell, but shout out to him. It's like a lizard or something, bro. I don't know what the fuck. Like
he looks like what was that teacher from South Park? What was the teacher that had the glasses?
Oh, Mr. Mackey? Is that what you're talking about? The skinny guy? Yeah, he kind of does. Oh god, dude. Every time I see Silver talk, I'm like, you are an interesting looking man. Yeah, bro. All right, man. You got anything else, or are we wrapping it?
Well, we not gonna talk about your boys getting that contract with Stipe?
Oh yeah, bro. The king is back. John Jones versus Stipe. I don't know when that is, but that's gonna be interesting. Oh, and we didn't even really get into combat at all. Gaethje is fighting on the same card as you called for it, bro. Usman versus Kobe, round 2. That's
yeah.
I
need that.
I'm buying that shit. I don't care if it's not payday, and like I'm
gotta watch that.
Dipping into the savings account for that one, bro. Like
that bad blood. I gotta watch that one, bro. That's gonna be fire, bro.
It is.
That's gonna be a fire. What's name? I can't wait to watch that. And then, I think it's coming up in a couple of weeks. That whole. You know, you got your friend Logan Paul, or
he's fighting?
What's his name? No, not
Jake
Logan.
Paul and Tyron Woodley.
Jake Paul, yeah, they got it. I think their fight's coming up in a couple of weeks, isn't it?
Okay, yeah. You know what's funny? It's at the Q, well, not the Q anymore. What's it called now? The Quicken Loans Arena, whatever.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, or what's it now? It's called like the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. So I messaged Vaughn. I was like, "Are you going?" And he was like, "Damn near. I think he's gonna be there." So that's gonna be it's gonna be a spectacle, bro. It
is. I can't wait to see. I honestly cannot wait to just see that.
Well, I'm gonna be honest though. Like, I'm gonna give Jake Paul a lot of props if he wins and wins like convincingly. Like, you know, because Tyron Woodley is easily his biggest test yet.
Yeah. So he's much more of a striker and everything. He's just, you know, he's a lot older. It's definitely not gonna be a situation where he's gonna be down in like a couple of seconds within the round. Like that shit's not happening, bro.
Well, that's what's funny is like we kind of said that with Ben Askren, right? Like this dude's from the USC, like he's gonna be able to take punches and I think we both expected that. And then Ben Askren just put on a pathetic. It just looked like he took the million and was like, "Fuck it," like I'm just gonna, you know. But I don't think Tyrone's gonna be like that. Yeah, like if Jake Paul hits him with a clean 1-2, Tyrone's gonna just shake that shit off and be like, "All right, like this is a fight. Like let's go."
Right? Yeah.
You know, so. I don't know. It's going to be definitely his toughest test. You know, he's got the body for it, bro. When you look at Jake, he's got the length. Like, you know, he puts punches together pretty well. I don't like him as a person, but like, regardless, like it's, you know, it is interesting to see. It looks like he's got good form. So now, let's step up your competition and see what you're going to do against these dudes that can actually fucking fight. Cause Ben Askren was pathetic, bro. That was not good.
It was a mess. And then we got even what's name is coming up too. Pacquiao and Spence.
Oh yeah, man, that's gonna be a good fight. I'm probably gonna buy that or go somewhere that's showing that. I'm kind of scared for Pacquiao just because I haven't seen him fight in 2 years and he's fucking old. And Spence is a monster. So, but what if he wins? What if he hauls off and beats Spence, bro?
After he just beat Thurman, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah, that would be fucking crazy. Like, just two undefeated dudes.
Insane, dog. Like, it would be insane.
I mean, at that point, it's like he's already considered one of the greatest, but that's just gonna even put another thing on his mantle of just like, wow.
Like, because at this point, it's not like he can do anything that's gonna hurt his status. It's only him, like, just kind of solidifying and just like you said, just adding more mantle pieces. Like, clapped him. You got anybody else you want me to do? I'm about to be 50, but it's okay. Anybody else you need me to beat?
Yeah, fucking playing basketball for the Philippines and running politics over there and knocking people out, bro. Man, he's just like a man of many hats.
Man, seriously, it's insane, bro. It really is.
It is, bro. And then Wilder Fury will be, a thing. But yeah, we got to talk about what do you think? Because I don't. Stipe just got clocked by Ngannou, but he's still considered like the greatest heavyweight of all time. He's like a 3-time heavyweight champ. You know he's older, but John Jones is older too, man. So it's like John
Jones is older, but the thing that kind of makes me nervous with John Jones is that like he's been away for a while, right? And it's a sport that consistently evolves, it changes, and it's something that it's got to be a grind that you're putting in on a consistent basis. So like. That's the thing that kind of makes me nervous. Like Stipe's been at this, and he's been at a top level playing these guys that and John Jones hasn't. So it's like, okay, is he gonna be able to kind of come in and deal with somebody like Stipe?
Yeah, for sure. The heavyweight division is just different, right? He's got the body for it now that he's put the weight on. You're right, and it's just John's last 2 fights. He didn't look bad, but he just didn't look like untouchable John Jones like we've always seen him for his whole career. So, yeah, it'll be very interesting to see him make that jump up. And I'd assume if he dominates him at that point, it's like there's no other heavyweight fight to make other than Ngannou and John Jones. Like that's the only thing anyone's going to want to see. So, yeah, I don't know. That would be absolutely crazy. I think if John comes up to heavyweight, beats this dude who's considered the greatest heavyweight of all time, and then goes and takes on this new monster who's like the Mike Tyson of UFC. This dude just came in and just started,
that fighting. Would be some must-see TV shit. Him and Ngannou, bro.
Right. Because John isn't just standing there trading 1-2s. John's throwing flying knees and elbows and trying to get you in chokes.
He's just
and
so fucking athletic and unpredictable, bro. Right? And he's just so skilled. Like I think that's one of the things that kind of people miss on him is just like he's super fucking skilled at this.
He is.
Right? It's like he's not just throwing punches, like he's really a skilled fucking fighter,
bro. Unbelievable. Yeah.
And so like I think he just brings a different thing that maybe Ngannou hasn't really saw out of somebody at that at that height and that weight and having that type of speed and that athleticism and stuff like that. John Jones is a beast, man.
He really is, bro. But yeah, so like if he takes out Stipe and then goes up and beats Ngannou, like at that point, like I think I've already got him as probably at least top 2 greatest of all time. There's like an argument for Georges St. Pierre, and obviously Khabib's kind of throwing his name in that hat too. But like, if he goes up, beats Stipe, and then beats Ngannou, walks off into the sunset, like, has there been a better UFC career? The dude's never lost. The dude's been tested a few times. His one loss was bullshit. He was fucking the dude up and like threw an illegal elbow or something and got disqualified. But like, we know what happened. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, beat Daniel Cormier, who before Stipe was considered the best heavyweight of all time. You know what I mean? Like twice. Like the dude is all the while he's doing cocaine, getting suspended every 2 years. Like it's like he's not even trying really. He's partying, like it's crazy, man. The dude is just like so supremely more talented than everyone, bro. Like it's crazy. Getting suspended for real quick, like, right?
I can go beat him up.
That was the funniest in the fucking. I don't know if it was when he got into a spat with Cormier after the second fight. He was screaming like, "I did cocaine and I still beat you." It's just like that is the biggest insult, bro. Like that's fucking crazy.